Hey, hey, Pete's Vibes, we're back. Let's try to get Schultze on here. Invite to join. Hey, oh, do we get this? Are we on? I don't know where your cameras. Oh, there you are.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Jeez. See, this is
I'm technologically handicapped. I'm really bad when it comes to technology. I'm still looking for the off switch on my computer.
it's okay. No worries. This is like that's what this is all
All
about.
right,
Is trying to
all right.
try to figure out how a bunch of boomers can get something going right. I'm just kidding.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Yeah,
Right.
let me try that again.
That's
Uh-huh.
usually help. That's usually what helps. Turn it off and turn it back
Uh,
on. So
I'm
welcome.
so old. I'm so old. I thought Ariana Grande was a font. I was like,
Right.
what? What is this Ariana Grande? What is this? Is this a new font? All right.
so
Uh,
welcome.
yeah. Hello.
So I'm Peach Vibes. I want you to say your name, your Instagram handle, and tell me what I want me to call you during this
Yeah.
procedure here.
My name's
Procedure.
Jeff Schultz. My name's Jeff Schultz. When I joined YouTube, when I started collecting again during COVID, once again, computer illiterate, don't know anything about handles, no social media, that kind of stuff. So I just put my name in there, Jeff Schultz. And, I'm in the YouTube community, I'm on the chats and stuff like that, and everyone's replying to me. And I'm like, I should probably switch this because our friend of Jeff, the Cantonese kid, and he ended up switching his name because he's like, all right, I'm getting confused between, what Jeff is saying hello to who and stuff like that. So that's when he switched his name to Cantonese kid. But
Oh,
I
funny.
am Chicago. I'm Chicago Schultze on YouTube. Don't have one video yet. I think I might have 100 subscribers just
We got
because
more.
I'm in every,
You got
just because I'm
98
in everyone's
subscribers more
chats.
than
Well,
me.
I'll slap this up there when we're done. That'll probably take me a day to figure out. Uh, but yeah, everyone calls me Chicago Schultze, and I'm very active on Instagram, probably too active on Instagram. I'm the
what's
jerk
the
always
what's
sending these memes.
what's the Schultze? What's is that your last name? Jeff Schultz.
Yeah,
So you just go
Schultz is
by.
my last name,
Okay.
and been called Schultze. Well, been called a lot of other things in a special ed high school teacher, but yeah, everyone calls me Schultze, so feel free to call me Schultze.
Okay. So I asked you to come on because we're new to we're local. We're both Chicago guys or Chicago burbs, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna say Chicago, whatever. Um, Chicago land. How about that? We'll do Chicago land.
I'll take that. Yeah,
And
absolutely. I lived in
and
Chicago for 10 years, so I can say, you know, definitely be bopped around in Chicago.
right.
But yeah, I'm right in the burbs. I'm in Forest Park. I am,
Okay.
the first suburb outside of Chicago. I'm a 10 minute,
Okay.
5 minute drive to the border.
Okay. What so the reason why I asked you on is because like I said, you're local. I just met you. We have a lot of mutual Instagram followers in common, and then finding out that we've actually met a lot of these people in from
Right.
social media in
Small,
person, which
small
is
world.
super cool. Yeah, like, and this is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I thought it was really fun to meet people from all walks of life and different backgrounds and all that stuff and just coming together as a group in comic books. And the one thing that we do have in common is comic books. And social media is full of bullshit about let's keep people separated. And I'm like, F this. Like I don't we need more positivity. We need more
I
positivity on
agree.
the internet, man.
Hmm.
It's draining. Draining. So that's why I asked you to do it. And I knew you'd be cool to, like I said, I'm gonna have to try to muscle through this and figure out how to do this. And I knew you'd be cool
All right. Yeah.
to,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I went and grabbed.
to
You're like, hey man, all you need are some headphones. I'm like, all right, I can go grab some headphones. So, yeah,
right.
I
And
got
like
some
I said, the
headphones.
sound is already better. I mean, I'm digging
Cool.
that. And
Good.
maybe if you drop your camera a smidge down a little bit, because I'm only getting your half of your face. Oh, there you go. That's even better. Now look at that. Look at that beautiful face.
Oh
Beautiful
yeah,
face.
I was gonna wear my hat, and then I'm like, hold on, I just got my hair cut from the one and only Pete last week.
Hey,
You
yeah, look at
know,
that. Yeah,
I
this is what I
had to
do
show off the
best.
handsome,
That.
had to show off the handsome new dude. You know,
So I guess let's just start this off and tell me what was your how old were you when you were getting when you discovered superheroes, comic books? Tell me your intro into this thing that you're into, I guess.
De- definitely grew up, you know, watching all the cartoons Saturday morning. You know, before I was reading comic books and stuff like that. Uh, definitely had my. I found some pictures uh, of me as a kiddo growing up and how much I loved comic books. My mom found, you know, 200, 400 pictures. She's like, Jeff, look at these pictures. So Jeff Schultz, fall 1979. So I'm five there in my Iron Man underoos.
Nice. Look at you.
Here's me and my lovely sister. I'm sporting my Amazing
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man shirt. Look at these
Nice.
two troublemakers. I grew up in Oak Lawn on the south side of Chicago, and then
Okay.
and this is when my comic book reading started was when we moved from Oak Lawn on the south side up to Elmhurst in the winter of '85, going into '86. Uh, and that's actually goes right into like my origin story, if you will.
Sure.
When we moved to Elmhurst, you know, at the new school, fifth grade, and you know, it's the first. I'm a teacher and stuff like that. They're like, oh, okay, and I didn't know what was going on then, but they were like just seeing what my levels were at and stuff like that. So hey, let's read this paragraph. Hey, let's do these math problems and stuff like that. This is like the first day of school before I even go into the classroom and stuff like that. So you know, we finally get into the reading groups and stuff like that, and I'm pretty smart for my age, and I'm looking around, and the teacher splits us up into our reading groups. And one reading group was the Eagles. I'm like, okay. The other reading group was the Falcons, and my reading group was the Robins. So I was like, I'm like, well, Eagles are cool. I'm like, Falcons are cool. I'm like, shit, I'm in the Robin group. I'm like, that's probably not good. I'm like, these aren't good. I'm like, I'm in the Robin right now. I was like, Robins, that's not a cool bird. I'm like, oh, so I put two together. I'm like, okay, I'm in the low reading group. Okay, you know, uh,
Hey, not for nothing. I think no, I'm thinking Cardinals. Cardinals are the Illinois State bird, not Robins. Cardinals,
yeah,
they're the Illinois
true,
State bird.
yeah.
But anyway,
Uh,
side note.
but yeah, so I go home. I'm like, my mom's like, Jeff, are you okay? I'm like, I wasn't like sad or like, you know, I wasn't embarrassed even. I was just like a little distraught. I was like, man, I guess hey mom, I'm in the lowest reading group. I'm like, you know, I'm like, I was the kind of kid that would read like, I'm still this way, 2 or 3 pages. And I'm like, what the hell did I just read? It was like, oh, I have to go back and, you know, reread it and stuff like
The
that again.
comprehension is hard. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, and so my mom, awesome. She's like, hey, Jeff, here's $5. I know you love all your GI Joes and Star Wars. Go down to the drugstore and buy yourself some GI Joe, you know, comic books. And that's exactly what I did. I went down there. I'm like, all right, cool. And it really helped my reading. It helped probably get my reading levels up. It was easy. It was fun. I love art. I'm looking at all this artwork. I remember tracing some of the pictures back in the day and coloring them and stuff like that. So yeah, that was my introduction into the comic book world, and it definitely did help improve my reading as well. So it really helped.
What was like your transition from just learning how to read into the collecting aspect of it, of being like, oh, I'm not going to just throw them in the corner anymore and roll them up in my back pocket. I'm going to start taking a little bit more care of them, or
Right.
collecting. I mean, I don't know however you collect, but that's
Mhm.
like what was your transition into doing that? Were you what age
My
of were you and whatnot?
it started literally those first couple of weeks after that first G.I. Joe comic book. And I do have it. I'll show it off later. But yeah, it started right after that. So I was going to the 7-Eleven and the drugstore on the corner kind of a thing, and the spinner racks, picking them up and stuff like that. And then I'm like, hey, my friend told me there's a comic book store in downtown Elmhurst. So I would bike to downtown Elmhurst, and that's where I would start to buy comics. So, oh wow, look at there's so many more than just these. I just thought, oh, these are just the only comic books. I walk into the store, I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, I only have $5 on me. I'm like, there's a lot to buy here. But I started with my G.I. Joes. I got hooked really quickly on X-Men and Wolverine. But I was always picking up number ones. I was like, all right, ooh, look at this number one. And I just wanted to read a new number one, new story, new arc, new characters. That was my introduction. I'm like, I'm going to start picking up ones to see if I like it. And the owner was like, hey, I've been noticing, this was after like the second or third week, probably month I was, going there. He's like, I'm noticing you're not just picking up your G.I. Joes, you're also picking up ones. He gave me my first bags and boards for free. He's like, hey, I can tell you're going to start collecting. He's like, not only do this, but I was, looking at the Iron Man number one behind him and looking at all these, amazing number ones. I'm like, I'm going to start collecting ones as well. So I started right off the bat collecting, and I felt like it was, the first drugs are, the drug dealer, first drugs are free. He's like, hey, kid, here we go. The first bags and boards are on me. But he's like, you have to start saving up after, you get 100, instead of buying comic books, you might have to spend some of it on, supplies on the bags and boards. So I literally started bagging and boarding since day one, and started collecting that way too.
Do you remember your first comic book?
Yeah, got it right here. So, like I said, my mom said this is not the same one. I will find it, but it was G.I. Joe 45. Nice. And it came out March. And the timing, this was perfect because I looked it up on CLV, and the release was March of '86. So that puts me right about where I was with the reading and stuff like that. So yeah.
And we're about the same age. We're about the same age, correct? I think.
Yeah, I'm 51, turning 52 in a couple of weeks here. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'll be 50 this year too. 86, 87. That was the year for me too. I really got into the collecting aspect.
So that's really when I started and stuff like that, and then pretty much collected. I knew
this is why we were connecting.
Right. Yeah. Age helps.
Like
absolutely.
We connected off the bat. I feel like when we first met, it was like, this is a guy I've known forever. Like when we first met, it was
absolutely. Like I wholeheartly agree with that statement. And I don't know if I reached out to you. You reached out. I don't know how we found each other on Instagram.
I don't remember.
I'm like, dude, he cuts haircuts. I'm like, all right, I need a haircut. I miss going to the barber shop, hanging out with the guys, having a beer, shooting the shit. I'm like, oh, okay. I checked out I'm like, yeah, I'll go get my haircut. And I brought you a Kirby thing. I'm like, for your barber shop and stuff like that. Yep. A cool Jack Kirby 3D poster and stuff like that. And but no, we hit it off right off the bat. I'm like, dude, get my haircut, and I go shopping for comic books downstairs. I'm like, 2 for 1. I'm like, absolutely, count me in. So go check out Pete's Basement of Evils, right?
Please, did I get it right? Please do. Yeah, Basement of Evil, Chicago.
Yeah. And I should have.
Get in here.
Good. And I got to start doing this every time I go. I got to start posting these great pickups that I'm getting from you at great deals, by the way. I got to start posting that stuff too to help you out as well. So, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
That's like
right. The Chicago way.
That's
right.
Exactly
the Chicago
what
way.
It's all about. So now you've been collecting have you been collecting pretty much continuously since you were a kid? Did you take time off? What?
Nope. I collected all the way through, junior high and high school, and then even into college. So yeah, I think I started 86, and then my first comic was 86, obviously, that March 86 one. And then I definitely tapered down when I started going to college. I would pick up a book once in a while when I would come back from U of I. I'd swing in, say hi to the guys at Gems and Unicorns and stuff like that. And those are my 2 LCSs in pretty close by in Elmhurst where I grew up. And So yeah, I probably stopped 95-ish, 94-ish. Uh,
Right when the
and
boom hit.
then, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I sold pretty much everything I think I'm pretty sure my dad, I think, lost his job in the middle of my college career kind of a thing. And I'm pretty sure I sold my comic books to help out with paying for books, paying for, not tuition, but, having to pay books and start
Sure.
buying stuff, that kind of stuff. So definitely sold most of it, but I still had 2 or 3 boxes afterwards that I always kept, and I was lugging around in the city and stuff like that. And one of my good friends, John, so yeah, let me go back to that. I finished in '94, and then I started collecting again in 2020. And this ties into one of my best friends, John. Uh, he lives up in Minnesota now, but we were living together in the city in Roscoe Village, and he's helping me move in, and we're lugging up my 2 long boxes. And he's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "You've been lugging these long boxes around to all these places that you've lived in. No elevators. Third, fourth floor. I'm huffing and puffing. He's huffing and puffing. He's like, dude. He's like, do you want me to just take these and put them with my brother's comic books? Him and his 2 brothers have been collecting since he's the same age
Forever.
as me, but he has older brothers. And both of his older brothers were collecting them. He's like, hey, man, do you want me to just take these boxes next time I go back to Minnesota, and I'll throw them in our climate controlled U-Haul, the storage facility. He's like, that's where all of our boxes are. It's protected and stuff like that. You just want to take them and, please take these, So that's where they were forever. We were up in Minnesota in, safe storage and stuff like that. So I knew they were in safe hands and stuff like that. And then 2020 rolls by, and we've been doing fantasy football. Gosh, I started fantasy football in '97, I believe, before all the websites and stuff like that. But anyway, 2020, he's like, hey, man, do you want those comic books back? He's like, I'm going to go visit my brother over Thanksgiving, and we always meet up at the end of the year. He was up in Minnesota at the time. And he's like, hey, I'll come down for our end of the year party, where we pay the money to the winners and stuff like that. And, the winner buys pizzas and rounds and shots and stuff like that, at the bar and stuff like that. It's always fun. But he's like, yeah, I'll bring those books back. I'm like, please, awesome. Haven't seen them. I think I gave them to him in like 2000,
It's been 20
2001.
years.
I gave him the books. I'm like, hell yeah. I was excited about seeing the books again. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, this is perfect. I'm like, I got these 2 long boxes. I'm like, I'm going to give them to I want to be the good godfather. I'm the cool uncle. I want to be and he's my godfather to my nephew, Leo. I'm like, hey, this is a perfect time. He's in like 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade. That's when I started collecting. I'll give him my comic book collection. I'm like, this will be a great starter. Let's start reading and stuff like that. And I'll get the books back, and I bring them home, and I start thumbing through these boxes. I was, all right, cool. Let's look at these things. And I start thumbing through these boxes, and I'm like, no.
Giving these away.
Leo ain't getting shit. I'm like, hey, I'm sure Leo's watching this right now, but sorry, Leo. But you, I had you in mind. It was the thought that counts. I don't know. But I was like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, no. I remember the bratty kid that I babysat, because I would, junior high, high school, all that babysitting money, my lawn mowing money, that's what I was
Right.
buying. I was either buying cassettes or comic books, So I was like, all right, I'm like, no, I remember the lawn I mowed. It was like 88, I have a very good memory. I'm like, no, I remember I'm like, no, these are all mine. I was like, oh, cool. Infinity Gauntlet. I remember that. I'm like, oh, look at these early X-Men, I was like, no, these are mine. I'm like, so then I got these books. It's been 25 years. I'm like, I wonder what they're worth. Where do I look? That kind of stuff. And, jumped on YouTube and started following people and trying to get back into the game. What's going on in the community? What's going on in comic books, So I was, I'm like, oh, this will be a good way to do it, especially during COVID, So,
Right.
so yeah, that's when I started getting on YouTube and following everyone and getting into the community. I've been in hundreds of different chats and trying to hit those like buttons and help out the community as much as I can.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. That's funny. That's interesting. That's an interesting. It's funny you were like, screw that kid. I got other
Yeah,
shit. Like,
sorry, Neil. These are mine. So I had two long boxes, so that was like what, about 600 books, And fast forward now, so 2020, two long boxes are about 600 books, and now I'm at 6,000. So it's been a pretty fun ride since then. I'll show you my room maybe later, but I'm definitely running out of room and
yeah,
might be
that was
might
gonna
be
be
having to
something I
sell some
wanted to
stuff.
ask if you wanted to do later, if that was something you feel comfortable doing. I
Yeah,
know
of
some
course.
people don't want to do it, but I'm like, if you want to do it, it's fine. So I guess this leads me up to my next question is like, so now that you're full on into it again, you're going weekly, picking up books, I'm assuming, and all that stuff. You're still buying new stuff, I'm assuming?
My pull list is very low right now. I've been really focusing in on collecting Silver Age and stuff like that. So I've really dramatically, since 2020, dramatically dropped my pull list, and I'm now kind of featured in full blown collecting. I'm a casual reader, but I'm definitely more of a collector than a reader. I have no problem saying.
Right. No, I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like dude, I got probably close to 1 million books at this point. I'm like, who the hell's gonna read all this shit?
I'm curious. I'm at 6,000. What are you at? Because
I don't
you
even
you might
know.
have 6,000 just even in the basement of the barber
Probably.
shop. And
Probably.
I'm in
I'm
a
so,
bit. I'm in a tiny
uh,
room.
I always make this
My
joke.
room,
I'm like,
my room, my room, Pete, is the size of your barber shop, like
the
your
back
actual
room.
room. Yeah, the
Yeah.
back room. So that's what I'm working with. So yeah, I have no problem. I'll show you off stuff later on. Absolutely, if
Yeah.
I can figure it. Yeah, I'll figure it. Yeah.
So now that you're collecting now, like you said you're into Silver Age, that's kind of what you're into now, just the stuff you kind of grew up with, going back and rebuying the stuff you grew up with. I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's
I definitely went back and started picking up you know, all my Wolverines. Wolverine, I think 1 through 75 or something like that. And I got to go back and get those, but yeah, I haven't, and some of my X-Men I went back and bought. Uh, but yeah, I was kind of all over the place when I first came in. I'm like, oh, it wasn't necessarily FOMO, but I'm like, oh, I wanted to check out everything. I'm back in the game. I'm like, I want to start reading stuff. I want to start, oh, look at this art. Look at what are these writers doing? Who's this guy? Who are these new
right.
characters? That kind of stuff. So I was enamored with it. So I was definitely all over the place, kind of, but I've definitely fine tuned and kind of focused in a little bit more now on my collecting habits, if you will.
Right. What do you feel like? What, what, now that you're in the comic books, I guess, what's like, how do you find, what makes comic books like the most unique compared to other forms of things that are out there? Movies, like what is it about comic books that you like? Are you into the movies? Are you not really into the movies? Do you get excited about that kind of stuff? Or you not give a
Yeah,
shit?
I always feel like we're kind of in, as a 51-year-old comic book and nerd in general. I always feel like this is icing on the cake. Like, I feel privileged. I feel blessed that these books that I grew up reading are finally being put on the screen. Sure, there's tons of, criticism and stuff like that, but I'm like, hey, man, I'll eat all of it. I'm eating all of it with a spoon. I've seen, I'm watching on Wednesday. My wife is calling it Nerd Day because on Wednesday I'm, watching, the Daredevil, the Invincible, the Boys,
Right.
and stuff like that. So I eat all of it up. I think it's all, sure, we can be critical of it. Oh, it wasn't like the comic books. Oh, they did this instead. How could you leave this out? That kind of stuff. I'm in the frame of mind of this is, I'll take it. I love it, So just see that on the screen, and yeah, I eat it up with a spoon. I love it. A side of Chardonnay. Great.
Okay, I'm gonna throw some quick questions at you. Let me know. Give me your thoughts. DC or
Okay.
Marvel?
Uh, Marvel. You sent me that question, and I did a little research. Out of my 6,043 books, I have 607 DC books.
Okay.
So only 1/10, and probably 80% of that 600 is probably just Batman books. So yeah, I'm a big Marvel guy. About 3,000, yeah, about 4,000 of my 6,000 is Marvel. So yeah, DC, never really liked it that much, even as a kid. Didn't really like it when I was reading it that much, but this new Absolute Batman is pretty on fire. I gotta admit, I do like that a lot. So I've been pulling that Absolute Batman
Will that
for
answer my
DC.
next question? Batman or Superman? Obviously, yours is Batman. What
Batman,
is it about
absolutely.
what was it about Batman that you leaned into as far because since you are a Marvel guy, what was your jam about Batman? Like what got you into the Batman aspect of DC?
Sorry, I think Dan's saying boo to me because I just dissed on his DC. But what was the question again? I'm sorry, I was reading the bottom of the screen.
No, I know. I was gonna bring in comments. I was like, do I need to do the comments? Like, I know people want
Don't
to
worry about it.
interact with it, and that's the thing is like,
Whatever.
I'm figuring this out. I'm sorry if I'm not
Yeah,
answering people's responses. I'm not even to you. I'm just telling the audience like if I'm not responding because I'm trying to engage here, and it's like I'm trying to read it, and it's hard. This is why, like I said, I don't know how long the IG live is gonna go before I
right.
start moving this to YouTube and doing the whole YouTube thing. But I was asking like, what was your what attracted you to Batman? Like, since you're a
Oh
Marvel
yeah,
guy, what
Batman.
attracted you to Batman?
I mean, just exposure. Growing up watching the cartoons, growing up watching the TV show, the Bam, the Swap, all those onomatopoeias.
Right.
Grew up watching those. So yeah, just exposure to that. I definitely loved all of his gadgets and the utility belt. I definitely remember the movie with the shark repellent spray. Uh, I definitely and just his villains, best villains in the comic book universe. I feel like I think he has the best, yeah, probably the best villains, and he has no
The best rogues
superpowers.
gallery. You like his rogues gallery the best.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty top notch. If you compare any other superheroes group of villains, I mean, I'm sure Spider Man would be up there, but I don't know. I think Batman might trump him in that case. But yeah, I do have some early Batman, some Neil Adams, and I've got the Dark Knight series and stuff like that. But yeah, always been, I'll definitely take Batman over the goody two shoes Superman. Never liked
Yeah.
Superman. Too goody two shoes for me. I'm a teacher, and Superman is the kid that tells on the class to the teacher the next day that the kids were bad for the substitute. Like I feel like
Right.
that's that fucking guy. Yeah,
Okay. X
Hey,
Men.
hey, Superman.
You're an X
Superman.
Men guy. You're an X
Yes,
Men
yeah,
guy. You're a Spider Man guy, right? Are you not a Spider Man guy?
definitely Spider-Man guy. But yeah, yeah.
What
That
is
was your
what is
next question, right?
Yeah, what's your X Men or Spider Man? Because it's very different. It could be, I understand both, and that's why I'm asking. Like, what is it, X Men or Spider Man, and why? What is it?
X-Men. X-Men, hands down. Some of my favorite characters in comic books are on the X-Men team. We'll talk about that later. Uh, I've always loved the civil rights aspect of X-Men, and I like how they explored that in the movies and kind of made that some of the points. What was that,
Yeah,
X-Men 3 or X-Men 2? I've always loved that analogy that Stan Lee was using with the MLK Jr. was Professor X, and Malcolm X was the Magneto. But yeah, always loved Claremont stuff. Always loved the X Men. Spider Man's not bad. Close second. I'll take. I do have to do. I have a pretty big. My X Men collection is clearly bigger than my Spider Man collection, but I definitely they're both up there. So that was a good question. I actually had to do some thinking on that one.
top five favorite heroes.
Top five heroes: Wolverine,
Heroes.
James
Okay.
Howlett. Yeah, heroes. Wolverine, Logan, James Howlett, whoever you want to call it, Patch. Wolverine, number one, absolutely. Number two, and I'm not going to put these in order. Number two, Nightcrawler. Always loved Nightcrawler. I've always thought teleportation would be the best superpower there would be to have. Everyone always talking about like strength or flying or, you know, teleportation. hands down teleportation.
Sure.
Where do you want to go for dinner tonight, hon? Oh, let's go. Hey, I want to go see Fit at the Sphere this weekend, and then let's go to Italy for a margarita pizza. Like to finish off the nightcap. Let's go to Hawaii and watch the meteor shower. Hell yeah,
Right.
one night. Bouncing around, teleportation. And
Sure.
I've always liked Kurt Wagner's kind of wisdom, maybe is the word I'm looking for. Just the way he kind of approached different situations and scenarios, and I always felt like he was kind of the voice of reason. I always like that. But yeah, definitely.
I always liked
Oh.
how he. I always liked.
I knew I was going to like you, Pete, when I was like when you showed off your bam, your wrist tattoo of the Nightcrawler,
right.
and then
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, we're going to be friends. I'm like, yeah, we're going to be friends. So there's a Nightcrawler, and then show off the other wrist.
Yeah, I got my watch and stuff.
And then,
it says
okay,
Bamf.
and then bam,
It says
bam.
Bamf.
Oh, love
He's
it, love it.
teleporting from one arm to the other. Yeah, I thought it was
Right.
fun.
If you smell that wrist, it smells like sulfur, right? No, just
Yeah. When it was
oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you though.
Mhm.
Because we're talking about Nightcrawler. Well, I guess the joke is kind of. I was going to say my favorite part about Nightcrawler is. Do you remember the X-Men, the Kitty Pryde cartoon? It was like it was never on the TV. It was like it just released on VHS. It was
No, I don't.
okay. There was a Pride of the X-Men. It was called. It was a cartoon.
Okay.
It was just a one-off little cartoon. It was called Pride of the X-Men. And Wolverine had the Australian accent.
Yes, yeah. The early. I remember that.
That's what
was that?
That's
okay.
Yes, and Wolverine was like Kitty Pride. I thought his accent was very funny.
It was. I remember that. I remember that Australian. Right. I was waiting for him to pull out. I was waiting for him to pull out a claw. Now these are claw. Like I was waiting for him to do a Crocodile Dundee with that voice. Oh, those aren't claws. Now these are claws.
Right. Okay. So you got Wolverine, Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Where did I write? Oh, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Hulk, big Hulk guy. Always been a Hulk guy. Another cartoon I watched. I remember watching that. That was probably, man, that might have been probably my first comic book cartoon. I remember that was like early 70s, but I clearly remember loving the Hulk. I just recently been, like I said, I've been steering my collection more towards Silver Age stuff, and I've just been picking up a bunch. I've been lucky and picked up a bunch of those very early
Oh, nice.
Hulks.
Yep.
Marie Severin. One of my new favorites is Marie Severin. No one ever talks about her.
No.
She was the one that was like doing art when like Jack or like Steranko like couldn't do it. They're like, hey, can you, hey, I need a cover for this. I need a cover for that. And yeah, I did not a deep dive, but I just did a little research on her, and kind of an unspoken hero of the comic book industry. And I'm sure that has something to do with the fact that she was a woman, which is sad. But yeah, I've been. Yeah, gorgeous book. But oh yeah, Hulk, big Hulk fan, and then I've always loved Storm, another X-Men. Most of and I realized when I was making this list, I was like, God damn, I really do like the X-Men. I was like 3 out of my top 5 made the list. But yeah, always loved Storm. Always loved that claustrophobic aspect of it, kind of like her Achilles heel. Yeah, super cool. And then who else? Oh, Blade. Blade made the list. When you sent me that, I have a bunch of honorable mentions: Moon Knight, Erica Slaughter, Daredevil, Doctor Strange. But I was like, man, if you want to make that top list, I was like, and I realized I've always been a sucker, pun intended, for vampire movies. Always loved vampire movies. And when Blade came out, Vampire Hunter D was one of a very early anime that one of my friends introduced me. I think I was in probably like 6th or 7th grade. But Cat Vampire, Daywalker, that kind of stuff. But I'm excited. I hope they do something with Blade. I hope we see some Midnight Suns and Blade and some Ghost Rider and stuff like that. I think that would be really, fingers crossed, absolutely. But and even Blade's, I forgot what Blade's daughter is now. She's got a name, but she just came out recently. I'm like, I could see some team ups going on, or her being part of a new young team teen whatever, teen Hellblazer Club or whatever.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see.
The new Legion of Monsters. You can make it the new Legion of
Yeah,
Monsters.
hey, right, yeah.
Totally, something like
Why
that.
not? But yeah, I've always loved Blade. Excellent.
I just posted my Blade #1 the other day. I always, when I find a cover of a book, I'm always like, how should I post this? Is it a first issue Friday? Is it a, Supernatural Saturday, Supernatural Sunday, however I want to. And I was looking at Blade book and I was like, Supernatural kind of day. So that's why I posted.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You were talking about your rogues gallery. Who are your top favorite villains?
Magneto, #1. Once again, I've always been loving my X-Men, and that has something to do with it. Always loved kind of a hero, kind of a villain, unbelievable backstory, unbelievable PTSD, amazing, super cool superpower. I loved all that. And once again, like when I'm watching X-Men, I was like, seeing this on the screen, I'm like, yes, this is what I pictured, like stopping the bullets or moving stuff or, flinging stuff around the room and stuff like that. So yeah, I ate that up. Love it. But Magneto, Mystique, I think Mystique is an underrated, once again, hero, villain, she go back and forth,
Sure.
Typical X-Men style. But always loved her superpowers. Thanos. Thanos, definitely one of my favorite supervillains, was knee deep in Infinity War Infinity Gauntlet when that came out. Yeah, Gauntlet. Yeah, loved Infinity Gauntlet to the point where I was reading the Silver Surfers for the backstories, and that was like my first time of realizing like the comic book industry. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you're gonna get me into this. I'm like, I have to go pick up. I'm like, here, wait, what happened? Read the fine print. Read Silver Surfer 43. I was like, shit. All right, I got to go pick it up, And so yeah, but reading all the backstory and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely Thanos. I think people forget that. I think didn't he do it to? Wasn't he dating Death?
Yeah.
Or wasn't he trying to impress Death?
They were dating. Yeah, they took her off.
Yeah, I think they were. Wasn't he trying to like court her? Like he's like, hey, check this out. I'm gonna hand half of living things in the world, hey, how you do it.
Right.
And then top it off, Doom. Gotta go with Doom. Always a couple of steps ahead. A great villain, great backstory. I'm excited for Doomsday. We'll see what happens. And then the Joker. Love the Joker. I've always found it interesting how he's had a 60-year violent man crush on Batman, and how they are. I think they're, it's a bromance, over the last 70, 80 years. I'm not going to kill you. I can't kill you either, Right. So yeah. That wraps up my villains. Joker. Absolutely.
If you haven't already pulled, I guess it's a two-parter, and it might be the same. What's your most meaningful book in your collection? And what's your biggest banger book that you're like, this is my book? They might be the same, and maybe they're not.
They're not. And unfortunately, I couldn't find two of them. I'm in the middle of I'll show you my room soon, but I am in the middle of reorganizing my collection and putting in, putting in the name tags and stuff like that. And I gotta get it organized. But most meaningful. Backstory. Our good friend Sean Puff, 83. I think he still does it. Did a show with Variant Vigilante. His name's Thorsten in Germany. And on Fridays, they used to do like a movie review. They would pick a movie from the 80s, early 90s, and they'd review it, shoot the shit. And I'd always be on it, because I think we've already been talking. We love movies, music, comic books. But we were in one of his streams. He was talking about Frazetta, and I just stumbled across a box of Frank Frazetta cards from it was like a 91 set of Frank Frazetta cards of all of his artwork. And I bought the box. I'm like, I'm going to send Thorsten these books. So I got his address, not these books. I sent him like probably maybe 10 6-packs of unopened of these Frank Frazetta cards. And he was all excited. He was Germany time and my time. He's like, hey man, can you get on the stream? And that weekend, when the time when he was going to show off and crack open the Frazetta cards, I was at a wedding that weekend, so I couldn't be there. But he sent me a couple of weeks later. He sent me this gorgeous. You guys see that? This is my first time. This is my first time holding up books. So check that out. This is the reprint. This is a German reprint of of the what was it, Avengers 57, right?
Right.
This came out in 76. Das ist gut. Das ist sehr gut. I loved it. Yeah, he sent me this, and he sent me another really cool Italian Wonder Woman book by a famous artist, controversial artist. I don't know where it is, but yeah, hands down, meaningful book. Meaningful, came across the seas, came across the pond, and I think it's the most meaningful book. It just shows our community and how much we all care for each other, how much we have each other's back, how open we are. We're a very open group. We love all races, colors, and creeds. And so, yeah, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I think this is my most meaningful book. Yeah, I don't get a lot of AOKs. I don't send a lot out either. So, but I thought that was super special. And I was like, damn, this is super cool. And I even added it to the P Collector comic book app. I was like, I'll add this in there. And so, yeah, absolutely. Most meaningful. Super cool. Always love Vision too.
That's a good story. Nice.
I drew it. Let me see. Drew a picture of Vision, Wolverine.
I don't know where you're showing. Your camera's not.
Never mind.
Wait.
Never mind. But I'll show that later when I'm showing the room. But yeah, always love Vision, and he didn't even know that. He didn't even know that I liked Vision. So that was definitely most meaningful book, I'd say.
What are the?
Like I said,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, I just love this community, and I'm always like you. I end every one of my things, or I've always introduced myself when I'm in the community. I make sure, and I mean it every time. One love from Chicago. Hey, everyone needs to hear I love you every once in a while. Sure. And I do. I mean it every time. Hey, I'm sending love from Chicago. Chicago's got some bad rap, and I want to make sure that people know that Chicago's badass.
Hialeah saying one love from Hialeah.
There we go. One love from Hialeah. That's always been my, what is it, moniker or not moniker? My saying, if you will. One love from Chicago.
Your mantra?
Mantra, absolutely. I mean it. I mean it too. Yeah. Tomato. Yeah.
Or whatever Harry Connick Jr. says. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Yes. Yeah. That sexy, smooth voice.
Right. You mean mine, right? Not Harry Connick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was just talking about you, of course. Great.
So what are your
I just pictured you singing Go ahead.
Catchphrase. Unruly says your catchphrase. That's
catchphrase. There it is. My catchphrase. Thank you. One love from Chicago.
Apparently I have one. It's hey.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I've seen
I didn't know I did that.
I've seen it.
Now
You're right.
I do it. And now everybody's clowning on me about it. I was like, whatever. Everybody has to have a thing. It's okay.
Are you? Is this the window? Is this the? I'm in a glass cage of emotion.
Get me out of here. Get me out of this Instagram. So show us your top 5 books in your collection. Because I know
once again, I don't have any banger books. I don't have any books that are in the thousands or anything like that.
Okay.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
Everybody
collects
still looking. Absolutely, and then that's another thing, and everyone always says that in every stream, and like I said, everyone has their method of collecting and ways of collecting. Not even banger books, but yeah, favorite books. How about that?
Yeah, you said. I said your top 5 favorite books.
Yeah, I got this one.
Turns.
Yeah, and it's a newsstand. So
nice.
And most people have not seen a lot of my negative space art, but most of my negative space art is on Instagram, and I always make these Instagram digital AOKs and I'd send them out. But I'm really into negative space art and verging on negative space art, and can't go wrong. 79 first appearance. Yeah, pretty minty, pretty crisp.
Alicia.
Meow.
Yes.
Meow.
Meow, right? Party, right?
Oh, there it is. Yep. Would that
Newsstand.
be? Would that be? Would you say Patch is your favorite rendition of Wolverine?
Yeah,
Out of
because
all the
that's what
different Wolverines there
it's,
have been,
yeah, I'd agree with that. That's a good question. Absolutely. This is what I started reading. Yep. Yeah. This was my first, introduction to Wolverine. Sure, I was getting some of them in the X-Men, but I was like, what? Wolverine?
yeah,
Uh, Absolutely. Yeah.
it's a banger.
I'd say Patch. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Here we go. I got this one.
Oh,
Always
McFarlane
like this
Batman.
one. Yep. I do not spend a lot of money on comic books. Like this was $60. The most I ever spent on a book was your book, this guy right here that you
Oh,
gave.
oh,
This, yeah, I think you gave it to me like 100. But yeah, this is up there too. I'll take this. This is a recent purchase.
sure.
I'll take that as one of my favorites. Hell yeah. But yeah, and I just wanted to make sure everyone knew about this right here. Everyone knows about that error, right? About how this is not painted yellow.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I
You
didn't
see
even
that?
notice that. Yeah, it looks like a
I just wanted
dick.
to make sure you see that? No,
Yeah,
no color. Yeah.
right.
And McFarlane freaked out. I heard the story was like went down and tried to stop it. What the hell? Kind of thing. Never stopped it. I think every one of them has that error on it. So, but yeah,
Oh,
gorgeous
interesting.
book.
Yeah,
Gorgeous
great.
book. McFarlane's up there for me. But yeah, love it. I bought this last summer from my friend Bleecker Street Comics. Check him out pretty soon, actually. He has Bleecker Street Church coming up. But I did buy this from him,
Oh,
Canadian
Gambit.
friend.
Nice. Would you consider
Newsstand.
that your opinion? Is that Gambit's first appearance, or is it the?
I got both, so I don't care. No, no. His first appearance is clearly the what was it? It wasn't an annual,
It
right?
was
X-Men
yeah, it was
annual.
an annual. Yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
clearly, yeah. He even speaks in the annual. Like he even has some bubbles, and he's
Right.
in like 4 or 5 frames. So I don't understand how they approach that first cameo,
This
full
is the problem with CGC, though.
ankle.
This is what
Here's
I'm
an ankle.
saying.
Here's an ankle of Venom. Here's a wrist of
For sure. For sure,
right.
buddy. I'm just
And
trying
I
to stir
think
the
we've
pot.
talked
I'm
about
just trying
this
to stir
one.
the pot here. That's
Yeah,
all.
hell yeah, hell yeah. We could, I think 180. If you want to keep talking about 180's first appearance over 181, we could
Right.
have debates on this, for hours. Absolutely.
Right. Right.
Oh, other books. Here we go.
Oh, nice. That's a banger, dude. That's a banger.
Alex Ross, one of my favorite artists on my Mount
Chicago.
Rushmore. Chicago.
Chicago.
Lives up in Libertyville, I think. Uh, hey, first appearance, Harley Quinn in a main DC comic book universe. And I love
Yep.
Negative Space. So it's Alex Ross and Negative Space. Are you kidding me? Yeah, had to get that.
Check. Check. Yep.
Had to go back and get those first 4 from Miller run. Finally, I got this last year from Gem Comics for a really good deal. I told them I was going there since '86, and the new owners are like '86. They're like, Ellen? I'm like, hey, do you know Eleanor? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Eleanor sold me my first. So I got a good discount on this. Great guys at Gem Comics. Check them out. Gem Comics in Elmhurst. They just
I
have
never.
they have a new
I'm trying to think if I've been there. Gem Comics.
downtown Elmhurst. I've got. You know me. I'm an idea man. I want to do a Villa Park Elmhurst LCS bar crawl.
Oh,
You go
nice.
grab some beverages because there's bars literally
Yeah.
right next door to each one of these comic book shops. Go grab a
Yeah.
beer or some food. Go
Yeah.
shopping. Go down 10 minutes. Go find another LCS. But yeah, Gem Comics hooked me up on this. Had to get this to
Nice.
complete the Secret Wars run.
Nice. That's a good one.
Not a great copy, but I'm not. That's another thing people always ask. I'm not that big onto grades. I'm fine with ticks. I'm fine with rolls. I'm fine with it being red. I'm fine with a little booger stain maybe right there. I don't know what that is. Fine with me. Hey, they were loved. They were loved and read. I'll take that.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed.
Like I said, I don't have any really big banger books, but, you know, can't go wrong for
These
another
are
one.
bangers. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they are. I don't know.
They are.
Maybe I'm watching the wrong show. Maybe I'm watching too much of the Only Slabs. I don't know.
Okay,
but yeah,
so,
you know.
Okay, so it's not Spider-Man number 1 through 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, true. Yeah, right. Hey,
sorry,
yeah.
It's not X-Men 1 through 5.
One can dream. One can dream, right?
Yeah.
And then I just picked this up from Pete's Basement of Evil.
Basement of Evil,
right?
Yeah.
Just got that. So like I said, I love the fact that, you know, hey, I'm going to be seeing you every 5 weeks, Pete, whether you like it or not, you know, for our haircut. So I love it. Go downstairs, grab some books, do some hanging out, shoot the shit. And another great thing about, I think, this community, and it starts with comics, but it goes
beyond
right into music. It goes right into movies.
Totally.
Case in point. I got my haircut last Friday. I got 6,000 books. He's got 1 million books. You know, I'm looking at comic book art and stuff like that. I sit down, and then for the next 45 minutes, we talked about music. We didn't talk about comic books at all. We were just shooting the shit about, I'm going to mispronounce it, Jean de Poutrine.
Yeah.
De Poutrine.
The one that everybody's talking about, the band.
Yeah. And we just shot the shit and watching videos, talking about, this reminds me of Little Rush. Oh, that reminds me of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Oh, that, you know, and just, we could shoot the shit. It doesn't have to be about comic books. You know, we could shoot the shit about anything, which is super cool.
Well, that's one of the reasons, like I said, why, you know, I'm marketing this page to market all my other things that I got my fingers in, you know, the DJing and the basement and the barber shop and all the stuff that I do. Cause I can't sit still. I got to have my fingers in a lot of different stuff. And I
we're going to have to talk about your DJing.
I know.
We're going to have to learn more about your DJing. I used to DJ in college. So yeah, we're going to have to talk
so
about
that's something else I'm working on.
Okay.
Subscribe to the YouTube page for that. I want to start posting DJ sets, hour-long DJ sets weekly is what I'd like to do, is just throw out a playlist, a set, or whatever I'm going to do about an hour long. I'd like to do, if anybody has any ideas about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I don't know how long it should be. But I feel like an hour is a good, solid, you know, playlist. Of just the stuff that I'm into, and it's all
that's a good idea.
It's you. We're the same. Like, we're into the reggae, and I'm into metal, and I'm into ska, and I'm into punk, and I'm into singer songwriter. I'm into nerd everything. So
you're right.
Yeah. So this is cool. All right. So the other next question I was going to ask you leading into this was, what are your top 3 books that you're on the prowl for right now? What's Chicago Social looking for right now? So if anybody has this and wants to help him out, that's what this is all about, is trying to get everybody make your dreams come true. What 3 books are you looking for right now?
I've always been, I'll talk about him in a minute, but I've always loved Bill Sienkiewicz. And there was a very rare, it was done through Nabisco, of all things. It was a Nabisco mail-away Wolverine Bill Sienkiewicz cover, and you literally had to clip like the little, like, you know, barcodes
UPC
or whatever
code.
from from Nabisco products and send them in, and then they would send you this book. It's a super cool cover. Check it out. Very rare, very hard to find. I don't know how many they made, but that's a you know, something I definitely would like to add to the collection. I'm a big hip hop guy. I'm an old school hip hop, but one of my newer hip hop guys or hip hop groups that I've always liked is Run the Jewels. And I do want to get my hands, I almost pulled the trigger. I do have an eBay gift card here that's burning a hole in my pocket here, but I want to find that Run the Jewels. There's a couple of them out there, but the Run the Jewels, I think there's a really cool Daredevil one. I think it was a Daredevil cover. I'm not sure what cover it was. But
I know what you're talking about. I know the Run the Jewels.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and there's been a couple of them recently.
The hip hop.
Yeah, it's a dope cover. Yeah. It is not part of the hip. I don't think it's part of the There was a
Hip
Black
hop
Panther
collection.
one that I think was part of the hip hop collection, but and I think Scotty Young even did it too. I think it was a Scotty Young, and it's pretty much like a black cover. It's pretty much just the hands, but yeah,
Okay.
that's up there. That's on there too. And then I wouldn't mind a 180 or a 181 Hulk. I would be happy with either of those. But yeah, or an X-Men, giant size X-Men. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, all these early, like I said, I've been really into Silver Age recently, and I've been really working on trying to get some early X-Men's. I'll show you around. I've in some early Iron Mans and stuff like that. So really been trying to focus in a little bit more onto Silver Age.
Is there anybody in the comic book community you would like to meet?
Drop the ball. I guess Travis was in town this weekend. Bueller was in Chicago. I just saw a post from that. So I think more people need to. I think I need to aspire to Travis's lifelong plan. He's like, he's roaming around in an RV around the United States, checking out comic book shops and camping and going on hikes and stuff like that. He's got the life right now. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks ripped. I saw a picture of him. He's all jacked up and like muscular now, and good for him. Hey, he turned a bunch of stuff around. From
right.
He was my first YouTube guy. I'm like, what is this Bueller Comics and Coffee with Bob and stuff like that? Just two old guys sitting around talking about comics, sipping on coffee. I'm like, this is my level. This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
So yeah, Travis, definitely cool. I want to see YouTube community guy Who Dat Comics.
Okay.
Who Dat gonna beat them Saints? He's down in New Orleans. So Who Dat Comics, big TMNT guy. He's got some great stuff. But I'm going down there with some co-teachers when school ends in that last weekend of May, early June. So I hit him up on IG. I'm like, hey, I'm heading down your way. I'm going to be sending you some restaurants and bars. Give me the thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't want to go to I've always considered myself like the Anthony Bourdain tourist. I don't want to go to the touristy places. I want to go to where the locals eat. I want to go where, what's that? Where are you eating? Where are you going? That kind of stuff. So, and I'm sure he's looking forward to, he's like, hey, if I'm in town, I'll, take you to my LCS. I could steer you in the right directions in terms of bars and restaurants and, things to do down in New Orleans. So yeah, definitely him as well. And then, hey, October, the Florida crew,
I'm
can't
excited.
wait to see.
I hope you can do that. Are you going to do that? Are you going to for sure do that with us?
It's not the weekend of Columbus Day, but I'm going to make it work. I'm definitely going to try to make that work. We have some time to figure it out, but yeah, I'm as of now, I am planning on it. Hell yeah.
Well, like I said, they threw that in the group that there's that little tiny show, which I'm more.
There is.
Into
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so they posted. There was I think Bronze Age Brian posted that there's a little show that he said that's pretty good, and he posted the flyer that weekend. So I'm like, I'm going to go that weekend then, because I'd rather go to a little show than MegaCon, or I want to hang out with everybody. It's fun to do the con, but it's, as Hialeah says, like, this is the best part right here of just hanging out, talking about what you shooting the shit part, and playing games and playing dominoes or playing whatever the hell games we're playing and just talking shit. So yeah, I'm excited to do that too. So I'm glad that you're going to come out with that for us.
Hell yeah. And then, like I said, support the community, seeing more people hanging out together. I was lucky enough to see them, 3 or 4 years ago. I have my wife's cousin lives down right outside of Clearwater, and they're kind of in that same vicinity. And yeah, we got to meet up. We went to an LCS. The LCS we went to, I don't think they go there anymore. And we were all surprised, but we were probably spent an hour there. We go up and they start checking prices at the counter. They're like, it's like, oh man, that's always leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But we had a blast. And then afterwards we went and ate burgers and had a couple beers, and just shot the shit about comic book and the community. And that's what it's all about for me, hanging out with the crew, hanging out with the guys. Some of my favorite early YouTube was Hialeah and our friend Javi. He used to do this music show I forgot the name of it.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the only thing that's it was on Thursday nights, I want to say, but it was like going through just like top 10 Billboard lists from Billboard List 1979, versus Billboard List 1989 or something like that. But, it's just a,
Right.
good excuse, like 3-4 hours of comic book guys shooting the shit about music, and about
Right.
all these classics and stuff like that. Those were great shows. And there you go. Unruly said he misses that show too. I think that's where I met Unruly was on that show. But
Yeah.
like I said, it was like a 3-hour, one of the shows I was looking forward to in the comic book community. But we didn't talk about
About
one
comic
thing about comic. It was
Comic
3
books.
hours of us shooting the shit about music, which was awesome.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome.
I keep on wanting to say sound opinions, but that's our
No, yeah,
Chicago
that's- yeah,
radio.
yeah,
but it was something
right.
like that. It was a play on words like that. It was clever. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a bunch of other questions, but I don't want this to go on for 5 hours. We could sit and do this for hours. This is why, like I said, you know what? I'm going to ask these questions, and like I said, we'll go back to it again and down the road and ask you some more questions and
Yeah,
get to know more stuff about you. This was just kind of like a little icebreaker for people to get to meet you a little bit and your followers to see me and my followers to see you and try to build this relationship a little bit, see what you're looking for. Hopefully people can find books for you, help you out in the community. And that's what this is all about, is helping each other out and making all of our comic book dreams come true.
absolutely.
Do you have any final thoughts on anything that you want to plug, or anything that you want to talk about, or give a shout out to before we part today?
Sure. Hey, shout out to First Aid Comics on Taylor Street. They're my LCS. I used to teach at a therapeutic day school in the city, and that was my closest LCS to where I was. It was like, Pete, it was Grand and Ashland was where my old school was in the city. So after school, after a hard day of work, I'd usually go out and hang out with Tom and Willie and Aaron. And that's my local comic book shop in the heart of Little Italy. Pete, we got to go. All right. Let's go grab some. We'll do an Al's beef. I can take you to Tefano's. We'll eat too much and buy too many comic books. All right.
I mean, I'm down. I'm always down.
You're in. Yeah.
Drink
and that's another thing I want to start doing. I want to start getting these comic book guys that are in Chicago here. Hey, let's start meeting up. Let's start doing a liquor and LCS or LCS and lounge. Let's go grab a beer, let's drink or something like that.
Right.
Mix
coffee. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Coffee. Let's grab an L's beef. Tips with Mott's. Might want to wash your hands before we touch comic books, but yeah, I want to start doing some more of that stuff too. Getting more of the community together, some more social groups. Hey, we got guys right here in our backyard.
I know
that I need to start.
That was kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is because those Florida guys really, I really appreciated them bringing me into their little crew. And I was like, I have this in my own backyard. I need to make this happen in my own backyard. Like,
right.
I know and I started meeting people and, trying to hang out with people and this and that. And I don't know, have you met Bayla yet? Did you say you met Bayla?
I've not met Bayla. I know the Bayla Con. They had a couple of them and stuff like that. I know his connections with WGN and the costume store and stuff like that. And but yeah, I'm following him. But yeah, I'd love to meet him. I'd love to hang out. Hey, let's go have a smoke and look at some drink. Look at some comic books. Let's shoot the shit.
Sure. Yeah, no, I like.
There's
that.
There's this new. Like I said, I'm always I'm on IG way too much, but there's some new kid, News Alert Media or something like that. He's from Chicago.
Yeah, he came by.
Nerd Alert.
Yeah. He came by the basement the other day and bought some stuff.
Okay.
He did a little video. Yeah, he's super nice kid. I call everybody a kid. I'm sure.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a teacher, so everyone's a kid to me too. But yeah. Right. He's clearly younger than both of us.
Yes. But he's just getting involved in the community and meeting people too. And like I said, I want to bring him in with open arms because, like I said, he was very nice. And he's into a lot of the same stuff we're into. I mean, he's into, same shit. So it's like, that's
right.
what I love.
There's this guy, Darth Richards. There's this new girl. I forgot her thing, something to Heaven or Pages of Heaven or something like that.
Oh,
but
I don't know her.
Yeah, I think she's going to First Aid. So,
okay.
But yeah, there's this Ganessa. But like I said, we got to start representing.
Tag some of
Yeah,
these people when I post this. We post this. Tag some of these people we all should be following, especially if you're in Chicago. Please tag yourself if you're in Chicago and you want to start getting involved in this community a little bit more. Please,
right.
I want to start following people and start getting to know more people
Right.
in
Call,
the
call up Pete.
Chicago
Hey,
area.
call up Pete. Do an origin story like we're doing right now. I always call
Right,
these the origin stories. Like, hey, what's your
right,
background? That kind of stuff. But yeah,
right.
reach out to Pete, and I'm sure Pete
Or
will be
you,
willing to do
like
this. Right.
for sure. Or you, like
Yeah.
that's the thing is, like I said, let's get this community
Absolutely.
together.
Hey, I got these headphones on. That's all. Apparently, that's all I need. So I can be
Well,
pulling
you
this off
sound
too.
good. The view's good. The lighting's pretty good. So we're good. This is all
Yeah,
good.
we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah.
It's all, man. That's why I said this is all about trial and error, trying to figure it out,
Right.
getting it together.
Shout out. Shout out. Fine Art of MK. I'm gonna stand up. I'm a big guy. I'm a big billboard.
Okay,
But
pause
check
here.
out Fine Art of MK.
Okay.
He takes his favorite bands and he puts them on the comic books.
Oh, fun, interesting.
Three
That's
Bad
cool.
Brothers, so well. Paul
Right.
Revere. I mean, yeah, can't go wrong. I'm a huge Beastie Boy fan. Check out
Tag
that
him.
big
Make
belly.
sure you
But
tag him.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, check him out. I've got probably 6, 7 t-shirts from him, and he does posters as well. And speaking of
Nice.
posters and stuff like that, this summer, be on the lookout for me. All right. I've had a lot of friends in the YouTube comic book community. If you check out my IG page, go back to 2023 or whatever like that. Maybe I should be reposting them or something like that to get more likes. But I've been doing digital AOKs where I've been doing my own negative space art. I saw that C2E2 Wolverine banana cover. I was like, damn, I
Right.
can do this. I'm like, that looks dope. I love this. I was always like negative space art before that. I'm like, I can do this. So I started doing my own negative space art and sending them out to people in the community. A
Nice.
lot of them are still in the community and stuff like that. But yeah, I had a Daredevil guy up in Wisconsin. Did a bunch of them. But yeah, check them out. But anyway,
Yeah.
a lot of people have been asking me, hey, Schultzy, that would look awesome on a t-shirt or, a poster and stuff like that. So here, let's see if I could do this. So this is one of them right here.
Oh,
I did a Ghost
Nice.
Rider negative space. Okay,
That's-
I'll do a quick tour of my room.
Yeah.
Do you
I was
mind,
gonna
Pete?
say, show us your room real quick. I forgot
Sure,
to bring
sure.
that up.
Yeah. So, of course,
That's
unfortunately,
cool.
you caught me right in the middle of me reorganizing everything, and I haven't put up my posters yet. But here we go. Let me walk around. I used to collect.
Satch Boogie.
You used to collect vinyl back in the day. That's a whole other story.
Doom.
Doom. I don't know if you can see my Doom back there.
Yep. Pull back a little bit more. Try to
Sorry.
pull back a little more so we kind of
Yeah.
get it all, take it all
All
in.
my
Okay.
figurines.
Nice.
Nothing to say there. Nothing to say there. Yeah. Old posters. Oh, here's my. I had to order this guy. This was the that Fantastic Four, the biggest
popcorn.
It came with a little Guinness Book of World Records certificate saying it's the largest popcorn, like manufactured popcorn bucket or something like that. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Oh, funny.
But yeah, I had to grab that. Big Galactus fan. Yeah. Oh, my friend Dan sent that to me. He got that for me. I think he was watching earlier. Big BC Boys fan. There's Frazetta.
Spidey stuff.
There's my desk.
Yeah, you got sports stuff, music stuff, movie stuff.
Yeah. I'm all over the place.
Nerd
alert. And then, and speaking of that, that's one of my biggest problems. Come fall, I usually take a break from all this YouTube comic book community stuff, and I really focus in on my football season and all my fantasy football leagues that I'm in. But yeah, put this up recently, my Silver Age stuff. I'm probably going too fast. I don't know.
Okay.
Iron Man 2, Iron Man 4, Iron Man 7, Iron Man 8. Like I said, I'm really working on my early Silver Age runs. Fairly cheap. I've been buying these $20, $30, $40 tops. And I think these have a lot of potential. And like I said, I really don't care about the grade, which makes it a lot very easy for me when it comes to, I'm like, I'll take that copy. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take that.
Sure. Nice.
Or these subs.
I know, I'm trying to complete that run.
My wife, I've definitely gotten her to become a comic book nerd. She just not reading, but some early Green Lanterns. But every month I ask, oh, you'll like that.
That's fun. Nice.
And I've
seen that online.
Here's my Spidey carpet. What else I got? Oh, my Star Wars stuff. May the Force be with you, and also with you. Slowly but surely adding some cool Star Wars stuff. I haven't, like I said, I'm working on putting up my posters.
Houdini. Damn. Freaks come out at night.
Check that out. 1986.
Freaks come out at night. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Whose house? Ron's house.
Ron's house.
Beasties. I got a Pitchfork poster I got to put up there. But yeah, that's pretty much my room. And like I said, I'm clearly running out of room. I got to start getting some more storage stuff going on. Here's a shout out to Chicago.
I was just watching something about the history of Chicago
through.
And that. Yeah.
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 Got some. Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah. Awesome.
So like I said, very, very small. Now I live in a 3-flat. I live in a 3-flat and we rent out our unit upstairs. My wife's mother-in-law passed away and she lives downstairs. And we have been having a hard time finding a person for our garden unit. And the wife threw it out there. She's like, Jeff, why don't you convert downstairs into your, comic book sanctuary, I'm not a man. I don't like the word man cave. I don't know. I've never liked the man cave thing, but
it's a weird.
I don't know my solitude, my sanctuary of solitude. I don't know what it will be.
Your lair.
My lair. Yeah.
I like lair.
Schultz's lair. Schultz's lair.
Schultz's lair. Yeah. I got Pete's lair. Yeah. It's okay. Lair is better than man cave.
But I've always liked, so she was one that threw it out there. So we might be doing a little renovation down there and might be moving some things down there. But I do live about 4 blocks away from the Des Plaines River and a garden unit and comic books. Never knock on wood.
Keep everything at least 3 feet off.
Knock on wood. We haven't had any water damage down there, but that is definitely something in the back of my head. So, but yeah, like I said, so yeah, we will see.
Yeah. Well, Chicago Schultz, I appreciate you coming on and doing this with me today. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you, man.
This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it. And it's been fun getting to know you a little bit more. Every time we hang out now, it's getting to know each other and seeing how we are. So it's pretty rad. I dig it.
It is. Thank you. Yeah. Bigger and better things are down our paths here. I think we're going to be working a lot together. Speaking of that, did you ever get that list I sent to you for your other idea about the music? Remember we were talking about, hey, pick your favorite band. Send me 12 or 10 tracks.
That's a whole other avenue we'll go down. Did
you ever get that? I did. Yeah, you asked me. I'll try to resend that to you. But yeah, I did a BC Boys 10 best tracks to make me. I remember the way you worded it. Like, how can you make a non-believer into like a believer?
Yes.
Right. Like, hey, these 10 tracks. After these 10 tracks, are you a fan? Kind of. So yeah, I went right into that. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do the Beasties, So.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah, send me that.
But yeah, that's another idea. Right.
Dude, There's so much stuff I want to do on here. There's so much stuff I want to do.
And then maybe one of these social clubs, you got to invite us over to your to that unbelievable basement that you have. I saw the tour.
My
I think
layer.
was that Silver Age. It was Silver Age Sunday. It was
Yeah,
like a
Reserve
month
Silver and
ago.
Sunday. Yeah.
Uh,
I know. I'm gonna
and
do a
it's
video, I think.
gorgeous, dude. Right.
I'm gonna do a video of this room. I'm gonna show off my room. I'm still organizing too. Like that's the problem, dude. Is it never ends. The rearranging, the hanging
Right.
stuff, it never ends. So it's
Right.
always a work in
Yeah.
progress.
Like
But
I'm over. I'm like, all right, I got to start organizing. And then I bought 40 of these. And I'm started labeling, and then I realized I have to go back. I have to go get another because I have
40
like so many more
plus.
categories. So
Right.
many more categories to do.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely, it's never ending. Never. But that's half the
Right.
fun too.
For sure. No, absolutely. Agreed.
Mhm.
Um, well, thanks for joining. Um, go follow Chicago Schultze on Instagram here.
Right.
If you want to subscribe, I'm going to try to post this on Instagram. Hopefully, it posts the whole thing. Last one, it didn't. I posted it up on YouTube. Hopefully, I can get them on the whole thing on both. If you want to pin it to your page, this little thing would be good because, like I said, I'm trying to showcase you too. Like it's not just about
Yeah.
me; it's about us and trying to help build our community a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, go follow me on YouTube if you can. I'm trying to. I guess you need like 50 subscribers at least to start doing lives on YouTube or something like that. So I'm still trying to figure out all this social media stuff. But yeah, go follow at Peach Vibes and on YouTube. Follow me here on Instagram. Go follow Chicago Schultze on YouTube and on Instagram also. I know
Yeah. I'll
I'm
definitely
hoping that
take
this is
this.
gonna I'm hoping that this is gonna get you going on IG
It
a little
will.
bit more
It,
and
it
on
already
YouTube a
has.
little
It
bit
already
more.
has. Absolutely. And
Now
like
that
I
you
said,
got the
hey, and
headphones,
yeah, it's apparently that's all I needed. But seriously, Pete, we're neighbors. I'm
I
in
know.
Forest Park. You're in Morton Grove. That's a 20-minute ride. I can come on over. Invite me over.
Right.
We could do live streams together. We could shoot the shit. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like I said, I
I'm
think
into
we
it
have bigger and better things coming our way. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah,
for
keep an
sure.
eye out on my. I'll be making some posts and you know trying to put all of my negative space art on, slapping it on some T-shirts and mugs and posters. And I need to start making a side hustle here too, just to make some extra money. Being a
Well,
teacher,
yeah.
getting paid pennies. So, but hey, it might be another
Well, you know what?
money revenue. We'll see.
Kudos to you for that, man. Seriously, that's it's a hard gig, especially nowadays. I'm sure it's changed so much for you since the pandemic, the
Yeah.
education thing and
Oh
teaching.
boy.
So
Whew.
kudos to you
Yes.
for sticking with it
Thanks.
and
Thank you.
doing it. I really, really admire you a lot for that.
Thank you.
That's
Hey,
rad.
there are 24 school days left, but who's counting? The first 5 days after the weekend are always the hardest.
I hear you. I hear you. All
But
right.
hey,
Well, like I
in
said,
all
we'll keep in
honesty, yeah,
touch.
yeah,
Go
we'll
ahead.
be in
Say what
touch. Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot more of our faces, our beautiful, handsome faces on IG and YouTube here to come. All right.
yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yep. One love from Chicago.
Peace. Thank you, Pete Times. See you guys. Enjoy.
Peace.